Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. No importa la hora que sea, siempre es un gran momento para aprender español con Profesor Pablo. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Our lesson today is Provocadores with the negative form only. Remember, a provocador is a word or phrase after which you must use the subjunctive. A provocador, in our three-step analogy of a tow vehicle, a trailer hitch, and a trailer, a traditional subjunctive sentence, a provocador would be a tow vehicle, okay? Now, our last lesson we went over no creo que, no creí que, and no creía que. We learned that no creo que is followed by the present subjunctive, verb number 8, right here. And we learned that no creí, I didn't believe or I didn't think that, no creía que, followed by verb number 9, which is the past subjunctive. Now, let's make a simple introduction here. Pensar is to think. It's a stem changing verb in the present tense and in the present subjunctive, but pensar is done just like no creer. No pensar and no creer. Pensar is to think, right? So no creo que, I don't think that, or I don't believe that. No pienso que is I don't think that. This does not mean believe, it means think. So this is think or believe. This is think. No pienso que, I didn't think that. No pensé que, same as no creí que. And no pensaba que, imperfect, would be the same as no creía que, followed by the past subjunctive here. So that's easy. Now let's take a look at some new ones that we have here. To say that something is not certain or true, verdad is true. Cierto also means true, and it means certain. And obvio means obvious. If you say, it's not certain that, or it's not true that, it's not true that, it's not obvious that, then you have to follow with the subjunctive. If you use cierto, verdad, and obvio with a no in front, whether it's es or era, you have to go subjunctive. It's a provocador. It requires the use of the subjunctive. Here in the past, instead of no es, we're going to go with no era. It wasn't certain, it wasn't true, no era cierto. It wasn't true, no era verdad. And it wasn't obvious, no era obvio que. We have a bunch of verbs here. A lot of them are irregular verbs and so on, but these are very commonly used verbs, especially this first cluster. Then we'll take a look at our second cluster. So if we're saying that these provocadores are negative because they have a no in front, then what can we figure out if the no is not there? Well, we know from yesterday's lesson that creo que and creí que and creía que are followed by indicative, anything not subjunctive. That would be verb numbers 3 through 7. Pienso, pensé que, and pensaba que would be followed by indicative as well, numbers 3 through 7. But as soon as you put a no in front, you have to go subjunctive. If you got the present at the beginning, you're going to go with present subjunctive. But if you're in the past, whether it be preterite or imperfect, you're going to go with the past subjunctive. Now here, no es cierto, no es verdad, no es obvio que, present subjunctive, because es is present, you're going to use present subjunctive. Era is one of our two past tenses, right? So since era is in the past, we're going to use past subjunctive, verb number 9. Now, could you say fue like a one-time thing? No fue verdad que? You could. It's just not too commonly used. Fue, fue, you could substitute for era. Once you get a better feel and know how better perhaps to insert fue over era. But we're going to play it safe, and we're going to go with no era, whatever it might be. Okay, our verbs: to be, to go, to do or make, to say or to tell, to be. Tener is to have, hablar is to speak or talk, poder to be able, and traer is to bring. Our second and final cluster here, vender is to sell. Think of a vending machine. Saber is to know or to find out something. Mentir, it's an E to I stem changing verb. It's also an E to IE stem changing verb. So we'll see which way we go. That's to lie, mentir. Gustar is to like. Querer ir is to want to go somewhere. Ir a venir, going to come, going to come. Haber dicho eso, to have said that. haberse robado el dinero, to have stolen the money, and haberse casado is to have gotten married. This is going to be interesting for us to learn how to handle these, right? We're always looking at a singular verb, but now we're going to learn later on how to handle these, all right? Let's take some examples here. I don't think they are brother and sister. No creo que sean hermanos. I don't think we're going. No creo que vayamos, or no pienso que vayamos. I don't think he cheats. Hacer trampa, trampa, T-R-A-M-P-A, like a tramp, trampa, is to cheat. I don't think she cheats. No creo que haga trampa, or no pienso que haga trampa. Let's go backwards, okay? I don't think I'm going. No creo que vaya, or no pienso que vaya. If you want to go in the past, I don't think he told the truth. You would say no creí que, or no pensé que. If you didn't believe or think that over a long period of time, you would say no creía que, or no pensaba que. So we're going to take decir, it's a J verb, right? In the past, preterite, dijeron, D-I-J-E-R-O-N. Take that O, change it to an A, that gives you dijeron. From that, build up all 5 forms of the past subjunctive. Dijera, dijeras, dijera, dijéramos, 3 vowels back, accent mark, and then dijeran, just like you have from the ellos form of the preterite, changing the O to A. So if you want to say, I didn't think or I didn't believe that he told the truth, it would either be no creí que, or no creía que, or no pensé que, or no pensaba que, el, past subjunctive, dijera la verdad. Dijera la verdad. I think dad's in the house. Creo que papá está en la casa. I don't think he's in the house. No creo que esté, or no pienso que esté en la casa. I didn't think dad was home. I did not think dad was home. That's probably going to be a preterite. Estar in the ellos preterite is estuvieron. Change that O to an A. You have estuvieron. Build up to get all 5 forms of the past subjunctive. Estuviera, estuvieras, estuviera, estuviéramos, estuvieran. I didn't think dad was home. Could be no creí que, or no pensé que papá estuviera en la casa. I didn't think he had the money. No creí que, or no pensé que tuviera el dinero. If it's over a period of time, like you were never thinking, it's month after month, I just never thought that he had the money, you'd say no creía que, or no pensaba que, to imply that this is a thought that existed for a long time, right? So you'd say no creía que, or no pensaba que tuviera el dinero. Let's say I think she speaks French. Get rid of the no. Creo que habla francés. I don't think she speaks French. No creo que hable francés, or no pienso que hable francés. Let's go in the past. Just a one-time reactionary thing, I didn't think she spoke French, would be either no creí que, or no pensé que hablara francés. Let's go here, poder. I don't think they can go. No creo que, or no pienso que. Now we need poder in the opposite vowel, present subjunctive. So poder we know is a UE stem changing verb. So you take puedo, change that O to A, opposite vowel, and stretch it out to puedan. No creo que, or no pienso que puedan ir. A trip planned for a year in the future, and they ended up not going. And you're going to say, I didn't believe they were going to be able to go. I didn't believe they were going to be able to go over a long period of time. That thought was pre-existing in your mind. You'd say, no creía que. Hey, how do you get to the past subjunctive of poder? You take the ellos preterite, pudieron, change that O to A, pudieran, and then you got it. No creía que, or no pensaba que pudieran ir. There you go. I think she's bringing the money. Get rid of the no. Creo que trae el dinero. Let's go negative. No creo que, or no pienso que traiga el dinero. Over a period of time, you never thought she was going to bring the money. You'd say, no creía que, or no pensaba que trajera el dinero. See how it works? This is advanced Spanish, okay? We're not messing around anymore. Sometimes I feel like I'm Muhammad Ali doing the rope-a-dope and George Foreman's banging on my body. We got to get out of this subjunctive, but it's, again, it's the advanced level, right? It's where we want to be. We've worked so hard to get here. This is lesson, I think, 120. And we only have a few more with past subjunctive in terms of a solid lesson, right? But we'll be using the subjunctive all the time now that it's part of our arsenal. Remember, the piano in Spanish only has 10 keys. The last two keys, 8 and 9, are the advanced level. Okay, let's look at this over here. Let's do it with these. Okay, let's say, let's go with to sell drugs. Vender drogas. It's not drugas with a D-R-U, it's D-R-O, drogas. Okay, it's not true that they sell drugs. No es cierto or no es verdad que, opposite vowel, vendan drogas. You want to put it in the past? It wasn't true that they sold drugs. No era cierto or no era verdad que. We got to go to the preterite, vendieron. Change that O to an A, and you have vendieran. That's your answer. No era cierto or no era verdad que vendieran drogas. People can't say that. If you're just beginning Spanish and you talk in the present tense, all of that's great. Whatever you can speak in Spanish is a positive. It's great. But if you want to get up with the big boys, right? You want to be among the best, right? You got to handle the subjunctive. So you ask somebody, hey, how would you say it wasn't true that they sold drugs? How many people are going to be able to tell you, no era verdad que vendieran drogas? Try it out, ladies and gentlemen. Try it out. Okay, here we go. Saber. It's not true that I know the solution. No es verdad que yo, saber. You take the yo, O form, change the O to opposite vowel. Saber, we know opposite vowel for ER verbs is going to be A, but saber doesn't end in O. It's one of those 5 verbs, basically, that don't end in O in the yo form of the present tense. Remember, there's voy, doy, soy, estoy, and saber is say. I know, say. So it's irregular. We got to learn the irregular. Okay, so the irregular subjunctive, irregular formal command for the verb saber is sepa. Sepa, sepa. So it's not true that I know the solution. No es cierto or no es verdad que yo sepa cuál es la solución. Okay? It wasn't true that I knew what the solution was. No era cierto, no era verdad que yo supiera cuál era la solución. Okay? Mentir. In the present subjunctive, it's going to be an IE. It's going to be an opposite vowel A. It's not true that I lie. No es verdad que yo mienta. It wasn't true that I lied. No era cierto or no era verdad que yo, it's E to I in the preterite. Mintieron. Change that O to an A, mintieran. No era verdad que yo mintiera. If it's a one-time reactionary thing, bang. No fue verdad que yo mintiera. But you're good with no era verdad que yo mintiera. Okay? Gustar. Now we know gustar is the most misconjugated verb in the Spanish language, period. Because gustar agrees with what is liked, not who does the liking, like all our other verbs in the Spanish language. If I want to say mom likes chocolate, a mamá le gusta el chocolate. Why is it a mamá? Because literally it means chocolate is pleasing to mom. A mamá le gusta el chocolate. We're going to have a review lesson on gustar coming up pretty soon. A mamá le gusta el chocolate. A Pablo le encanta el chocolate. I love chocolate. Remember we told you before that little rhyme? Mi corazón late por el chocolate. Mi corazón late, my heart beats for el chocolate, for chocolate. Latte is from the verb latir, to beat. Mi corazón late por el chocolate. It rhymes with chocolate and latte. Okay? Try that on someone sometime and say, amigo, ¿quieres un pedazo de chocolate? Would you like a piece of chocolate? And you say, claro que sí. Mi corazón late por el chocolate. I guarantee if you say that to a native Spanish speaker and they offer you chocolate, and you say, sí, gracias, mi corazón late por el chocolate, they're going to fall over backwards and try to figure out how you learned that. I'm telling you. Okay? Friend of mine, former basketball coach. He'd punctuate everything he'd say with, I'm telling you. So a lot of times I imitate all these things I've learned in my life. Gustar. Let's say I think mom likes chocolate. That would be, forget the no, creo que a mamá le gusta el chocolate. I don't think mom likes chocolate. No creo que a mamá le, opposite vowel, guste el chocolate. Or no pienso que a mamá le guste el chocolate. How would you say, I didn't think mom liked chocolate? Let's say that you saw mom eat a piece of chocolate and you're in the store with her and you tell your sister, wow, I didn't think mom liked chocolate. It's reactionary. You can go preterite. You'd say, no creí que, or no pensé que a mamá le, now what are we going to do? Gustar, regular AR verb. Gustaron, change the O to A. You've got gustaron, get rid of the N and you're in business. No creí or no pensé que a mamá le gustara el chocolate. That's how it works. Let's go with querer ir, to want to go somewhere, okay? How would you say, it's true that I want to go? Es verdad que yo quiero ir. Present tense, get rid of the no. Es cierto or es verdad que yo quiero ir. How would you say it's not true that I want to go? You'd go, no es verdad or no es cierto que yo querer, i.e. stem change, ER verb, opposite vowel is A. No es verdad que yo quiera ir. No es cierto que yo quiera ir. Nada de eso. Obvio, we haven't done many examples with obvio. It's just obvious, but we don't use it too much. I'm not trying to ignore it, but that's how it is. How would you say, we just did querer ir? It wasn't true that I wanted to go. Let's say that a trip has been taken and months ago planning was going on and you never really wanted to go, and or somebody said you really wanted to go and you didn't go, whatever. How would you say it wasn't true that I wanted to go? No, right here. No era cierto or no era verdad que yo. Now what is the preterite of querer? It's one of those irregulars. Quisieron, like hicieron and vinieron. Quisieron, change the O to A and you got it. No era verdad que yo quisiera ir. Can you imagine putting out sentences like this? No era verdad que yo quisiera ir. People are going to look at you and they're going to back up, say, wow, if this is a cowboy, we got a Clint Eastwood on our hands. Okay, ir a venir, going to come. I think he's going to come. Creo que or pienso que va a venir. I thought he was going to come. Either, forget the no, creí que or creía que, or pensé que or pensaba que, imperfect. Iba a venir, right? But let's go negative. I didn't think he was going to come over time, right? No creía que fuera a venir. It wasn't true that he was going to come. No era verdad que fuera a venir. I taught with an English teacher who said he was a good friend of Clint Eastwood, jogged a memory, and he said that he was going to come to a play at the high school where I taught all these years. And people were so excited. It was just a buzz all week at the high school. He never came. So I could say, I didn't think he was going to come. No creí que Clint Eastwood fuera a venir. I don't think he's going to come. No creo que vaya a venir. Haber dicho eso. Have said that. Okay? If you want to say, it's not true that I have said, it's not true that John has said that. No es verdad que Juan. What's the subjunctive of haber? Wow. It's haya, H-A-Y-A. It's just like vaya, but with an H. Haya. Remember, H is silent. No es verdad que haya dicho eso. It's not true that he has said that. How would you say it wasn't true that he had said? It was not true that he had said that. No era verdad que, what is the past preterite of haber? Hubieron. We haven't used it much. It's basically only used with a past participle number 2 after it. Like we can say, hay muchos carros en el freeway, right? Hubo un examen ayer, but we're not going to say hubieron. Remember, we learned to say when there was something in the past, it's either hubo or había, whether what follows is singular or plural. So this is kind of new for most of us. I'll give you a pass on this one. It's hubieron, H-U-B-I-E-R-O-N. Change the O to A, hubieran. Get rid of the N and you got hubiera. So it wasn't true that he had said that. No era verdad que él hubiera dicho eso. Powerful. Haberse robado el dinero. Have stolen the money. All right, here we go. We're going to go with haber again. The present subjunctive is haya. The past subjunctive is hubiera. Here we go. It's not true that he has stolen the money. No es verdad que él se haya robado el dinero. You see that pronoun se? Pronouns can only go in certain spots. Pronouns can go on the end of an infinitive, like we have here. A pronoun cannot go on the end of a past participle number 2. We're going to learn object pronoun placement. We'll get there, but we're just doing a little preview. Okay? So with what we have, the only place we can put the se is on the end of haber. Haberse robado, have stolen the money. But when I say it's not true that he has stolen the money, what do we have now? Look. No es verdad que haya robado el dinero. And that sentence by itself is fine, really. But in normal communicative common Spanish, we're going to use it reflexively because usually when you steal something for yourself. Okay? So, no es verdad que where are we going to put the se? We got haya robado. We can't put it on a past participle, hado, ido, but you can put it in front of a conjugated verb. Haya is a conjugated verb. So here we go. No es verdad que él se haya robado el dinero. Perfect. It wasn't true that he had stolen the money. It was not true that he had stolen the money. No era verdad que él hubiera robado el dinero. Where's the se go? In front of hubiera. No era verdad que él se hubiera robado el dinero. If you don't say se and just go no era verdad que hubiera robado el dinero, that's okay. More common, you're going to hear the fluent speakers, no se robó nada, he didn't steal anything. No me lo robé, I didn't steal it. No lo robé is fine. No lo robó, he didn't steal it, that's okay. But many times you're going to find that people will choose to use the reflexive pronoun with stealing something because generally you do it for yourself. The action of stealing comes back to yourself. Here we go. Our last one, haberse casado, to have gotten married. Now we know casarse is a true reflexive verb. Think of the word house. What's a house? Casa. Casarse means to house yourself, to domesticate yourself, to settle down, right? To grow some roots. Is that what they say? I forget. Anyways, haberse casado, to have gotten married. If I want to say, I think he has gotten married, creo que, or pienso que, the se is going to go in front of HA. Pienso que se ha casado. I think he has gotten married. I didn't think that he had gotten married. And that's probably something that was bouncing around in your mind for a while. So you go, no creía que, or no pensaba que se hubiera casado. I didn't think he had gotten married. No creía que se hubiera casado. And let's go down here. It wasn't true that, you're not going to say it wasn't obvious that he had gotten married because maybe not wearing a ring, I don't know. Let's go, it wasn't true that he had gotten married. No era verdad que se hubiera casado. That's it. So these are provocadores only in the negative form. Remember, we have 7 verb tenses in Spanish, and we have 10 piano keys. Present tense, preterite, imperfect, future, and conditional, present and past subjunctives. Those are your 7 verb tenses. 0, infinitive. 1, ing, ando, yendo, present participle. 2, past participle, ed, ado, ido. Those aren't verb tenses. Those are just infinitive and 2 participles. Okay? Now, If you don't go negative, then you're going to go indicative. And when I say indicative, that's our new term from the last lesson. Indicative is any verb conjugation that is not subjunctive. There are 2 verb conjugations that are subjunctive, 8 and 9. There are 5 conjugations that are not subjunctive. 3 present, 4 preterite, 5 imperfect, 6 future, and 7 conditional. Don't you love how we just keep repeating and repeating? We're polishing the stone. We're sanding the wood. More and more, it's going to be very smooth very soon, like a polished rock. Okay, so that is our lesson. This reinforces what we did yesterday. We completely did all of this yesterday. Here, it's the same concept. We're going to go, when it's negative, with the present subjunctive, it's no S. Here, if it's no era with these, we're going to go with the past subjunctive. We already know that the present subjunctive is opposite vowel. You form it by taking the yo form, O, of the present tense. Change that O to opposite vowel. Opposite vowel for AR verbs is E. Opposite vowel for ER and IR verbs is A. And, of course, the past subjunctive, how do you form it? You take the ellos form of the preterite, no exceptions. Fueron, estuvieron, tuvieron, hicieron, corrieron, hablaron. You change that final O to an A, and you got the past subjunctive. And from that, that's the ellos form. Build up and get the other 5 forms of the past subjunctive. So we're getting pretty good now on conjugating in the present subjunctive opposite vowel. We're getting pretty good conjugating in the past subjunctive. That's basic, right? You got to learn to crawl before you walk, and you got to walk before you run, okay? But we can do the conjugating. Now we understand the concept. We understand indicative, subjunctive. We understand the Spanish piano. The verb piano only has 10 keys. 0 through 2 are non-verb tenses. 3 through 9 are. Okay? There you go. Okay, we still have a little more subjunctive input that we'll be getting to very shortly, but we're getting close, ladies and gentlemen, to move on and start using our Spanish with all the verb tenses really creatively. Okay, thank you so much. We'll see you back hopefully tomorrow with another lesson. I work hard to get these lessons together. Every day I look at where we are and I think, okay, what seems to fit logically? If I ever teach a lesson and later on I realize, oh, I should have mentioned this or I mentioned that, it will come up and I will catch it and I will reteach the same concept in a different way and I will include it. For example, when we did por and para, one of the greatest uses of por is to vote for someone. Votar por. It's not votar para. Votar por. Like if you want to say, if you like Joe Biden and you want to say, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, voy a votar por Joe Biden. If you happen to like Trump and say, I'm going to vote for Trump, voy a votar por Donald Trump. Votar por is to vote for. Why? We know that por also characteristically means that there's an exchange, right? Well, when you vote for somebody, you give them your support. You give them your vote, your belief, your faith, and they make all their campaign promises. And what you get in return is they get your vote and you get their promises, what they say they're going to do. Lower taxes, right? Lower medical costs, lower house interest rates, right? Lower inflation, right? Lower gas prices, lower housing costs. So you're voting for a bunch of policies that you hopefully are going to get, and in return, the candidate gets your vote, and then he or she gets elected. So votar por, that was something I left off, but believe me, yo recuerdo, I remember, and we'll get them in. So thank you again. I appreciate all your comments from all of you people. Some of you are experimenting sentences and sending them to me, and you're doing extremely well. You're making great progress. Remember, create sentences. Look at our lesson, look at the big board, and try to make your own sentences up. Practice. Most importantly, listen to TV, watch TV, put on the subtitles, go to the internet, read in Spanish, listen to Spanish songs, find a singer or a group that you like. Get their lyrics in English and Spanish. Listen to it. That's a great way to learn. I told you before, I learned a ton of Spanish from reading Spanish language comics. Superman, Mighty Mouse, Little Lotta, Richie Rich, right? Batman, all those, Jimmy Olsen, all those DC comics back in the day. I learned a lot. So the newspaper, just read headlines, right? Go to a newspaper in Mexico, in Peru, wherever they speak Spanish, look up some newspapers and read an article or two. Read the headlines, especially if it's an American sold Spanish language newspaper like La Opinión. You know what's going on in life around you, and the headlines are going to reflect that, and you're going to learn a ton of vocabulary. But you know what the best thing is? Practice your Spanish with a human being. If you can only do it through the phone or through FaceTime, that's okay. But in real life, strike up a conversation with someone. Seek out your friends that speak Spanish and practice with them. You know, like people get together once a week. I know guys that get together once a week and they play video games, virtually, all remotely. And they dedicate time. Thursday night from 7 to 10, that's what we're doing. Well, find a friend maybe that you could do from 7 to 7:30 once a week. Practice your Spanish. You'll make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. But guess what? Every mistake you make, that's one less you're going to make, right? You got to get it out of your system. So it's all good. But anyways, bless you. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. And we'll see you with our next lesson soon. Hasta luego.